Chromium. We are better together.
Hello, my name is Salifu Emba and welcome to TechBiz Insight. Coming up in this edition, we look at how technology is helping the health sector, specifically looking at the use of computerized tomography, commonly called CT scan, a useful medical equipment used for assisting diagnosis in medicine. We talk about drone interception systems after several mystery drone sightings around the world, including Paris. And from recycling with cycles to using waste to build cheap computers, meet the young social entrepreneurs changing Africa. All this and much coming right after this.
Chromium Super Savers. The lowest international call rates ever.
Yes, you heard it. Chromium offers you the lowest international tariff ever.
Lower than anywhere else. Chromium Super Savers.
Now is the time to call family and friends all over the world at rates you can definitely afford. Chromium brings you the lowest international call rates ever.
Name your country and we got the lowest rates to that destination.
Also, receive international calls with your Chromium number and get free credit. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Chromium.
Chromium. We are better together. Chromium. We are better together.
Welcome back. X-ray computed tomography is a technology that uses computer processed X-rays to produce tomographic images of specific areas of a scanned object, allowing the user to see inside the object without cutting. Its cross-sectional images are used for diagnostic and therapeutic purposes in various medical disciplines. I was at the Serekunda Hospital, where one of the only 2 CT scan machines is, throughout the Gambia, to find out how this technology has transformed the way doctors carry out diagnosis.
Chromium. We are better together.
It is a highly sophisticated diagnostic equipment that we have in the country. We have only 2 of it in the country, one in Banjul and one here. It does many things as far as diagnostic is concerned. It depends. Like the X-ray I told you last time, it depends what the doctor wants to see on the patient. If it is brain, like cranial lesions, like somebody involved in an accident, the doctor won't want to see whether there is internal bleeding, we call hematoma, or whether the patient is hypertensive, if the patient could be bleeding inside. The patient could have what we call hydronephrosis. The patient can have what we call hydrocephalosis, that is enlargement of the head. You see children, the head is very big and large. This is the equipment that we use to diagnose such things. You talk about the abdomen. Somebody with abdominal problems like pancreas tumor, you can diagnose it with this machine. Liver problems, you can use. Kidney problems like hydronephrosis, you can diagnose it with this equipment. So it does many things as far as diagnostic is concerned. This roundhouse you are seeing is called the gantry. This gantry, inside this gantry is where we have the tube where the X-rays are produced from to show the image inside this the monitor down there. So this one you are seeing is called the table or the couch where the patient lie down. Then now this table is moved up. When you press the button here, it moves up. All right? Now this table will move up to the level that you want, depending on what you want to see on the patient. All right? It can go higher than this, and it can also go lower than this, depending on what you want to study on the patient. Now, if at all is the chest that we want to, the brain is what we want to see inside the machine, we just put the head inside here, all right? Make sure that it's steady. Use this part to make sure the head is steady, and then move to the level that you want it, and then you go back to the control room, and there is where everything is done. There's a camera on top there. You can see there. There's a camera that makes that features everything inside the control room there. So once you are there, you are controlling everything here. That happens here. So if you want to see the image inside the brain, or the brain image here, you You see it inside the monitor there. So you'll be there and controlling everything there. Anything inside the head of that person will all reflect inside the camera there. Then the radiologist will sit over this thing and then write his OR report. That's how it operates.
Thanks to technology, that we have all these things. But with this machine, this monitor, that camera, everything combined, which helps us easily diagnose people's conditions. Now, what will you call technology in one sentence?
We said thanks to technology. Because without technology, we cannot have equipment like this. This is really helping us in diagnosing problems. Some years back, people were going to Dakar, to other countries because of this. We said somebody is sick, that to find the person out of the country. Not because it cannot be cured here, but because there is no equipment like this to diagnose his or her problem. But thanks to technology, we have these equipments, and we have in our country, we can diagnose people's problems easily.
Comium, we are better together.
Welcome back, and you're watching TechBiz Insight. French authorities have been left puzzled by a string of drone sightings over Paris. One of them is spotted in the sky over the US Embassy. Others were seen over the Eiffel Tower. France has already faced dozens of drones flyovers in recent months, including over sensitive areas like nuclear plants, military installations, and even the presidential palace.
Mystery drones. Last year, more than a dozen flights were reported over high-security nuclear power plants in France. Other incidents have included a drone sighting over the presidential palace last month. And now, key Paris sites, including the US Embassy, have been targeted. One man sleeping on a park bench nearby says he saw the drone.
I saw it come from this direction here. It looked like a plane, a helicopter, flying from this direction to over there.
The drone flight over the US Embassy was followed by a spate of sightings in central Paris. Police deployed in full amid ongoing high security following January's Charlie Hebdo attacks. Such flights are unlicensed and therefore illegal. Offenders face a hefty fine, even a jail sentence.
People do not have the right to use a drone in densely populated areas. Certainly not in Paris, except with rare permission. They are banned outright.
An inquiry is underway. The French government will announce measures on how to improve drone detection early next month, all the while saying there's no cause for alarm. One expert says there's no immediate drone threat.
They weigh between 500 grams and a kilo and carry a few hundred grams maximum. They can be used to film what's below, but cannot carry dangerous material.
The French army monitors airspace round the clock so it can respond to any threat instantly. These screens show air traffic in real time. However, drones are too small and fly too low, and so are off radar, making interception a real challenge.
And in the wake of these mysteries of overflights, officials have asked scientists to devise counter drones and detect their remote control pilots. One of France's leading weapons against malicious consumer drones is, well, another drone. But this time around, it has a net attached to it to take it down. With me here is Mr. Francis Tamba Sekou, who's an IT expert. We're coming from France. We were talking about drones in France, and now coming down to the Gambian level. Mr. Sekou, when I started hearing about drones for the first time, I heard of them bombarding other places in the world. At first, I thought drones were only used for war. But then at some stage, I also realized that drones are used for so many other things. As at now, they're almost causing chaos in France. Okay, when it comes to the Gambian level, what are the implications of flying a drone?
Well, there are so many implications, like the good, the bad, and what authority will look like and say, what do we do in terms of curtailing who flies a drone? What are the rights of the people who are living in the areas that drones are flown? So there are lots of implications, and these need to be looked into every time people decide to say, hey, let's go into the outside world, what these outside people have been doing. So there are implications for civil rights of people who live in these areas, and the government also to monitor those who fly the drones.
Okay, when it comes to licensing of drones, because I think they need to be licensed before they're able to be flown.
You're right.
Okay, when it it comes to licensing, what particularly does the authorities look into?
Well, as I said earlier, that who flies the drone, what is the essence of the person flying the drone, and which area is the person going to fly this drone, and for what purpose does the person want the drone. And these are the things that have to be looked into before license are given out to those that want to fly drones. Let's say, for example, in the Gambia here, who will want to fly a drone? These are the civil aviation needs to look into who wants to fly the drone, where do you want to fly the drone, and what purpose do you want for this drone? Because one, they are the civil liberties of everybody that is involved in the country, and also sensitive areas that are not supposed to be shown. Drones should not go into these areas.
Yes.
So before license handed over, I think the authorities will need to look into that.
Comium, we are better together.
Talking about sensitive areas, we've discussed drones flying over the US Embassy in France. We've also seen them flying over the Eiffel Tower and then even the presidential palace.
Yep.
Talk less of nuclear plants and military installations.
Yep.
But then coming to the Gambian level, we understand that, like, let's say most of people's roofs when it comes to, toilets, it's not covered. But okay, when civil liberty comes in, how do we work when flying drones with those people in the society?
So when the license are given out, I'm quite sure the authorities will be looking at which area this person flies the drone, and if somebody should report that they've seen a strange object over their roofs, taking pictures, or even flying continuously over a certain area, I think they should report to the authorities that this sort of object is flying in the area. And with that, the civil aviation can find out to say, hey, Mr. X was given the license to fly within a drone within this area, and then Mr. X can be called and say, can we get a recording of this time and this time of what you were doing here or what you were doing there? So then at least they can in the sense of see what was done within these areas within that period of time.
Do they have any advantages or disadvantages?
Yes, there are lots of advantages and disadvantages. Let's say for those that are doing recording, let's say our people who are doing the recording, if they have drones, it's cost effective in the sense that they don't need to employ everybody, a sound man, employ somebody who will hold the microphone, somebody who will hold the recorder, the video recording equipment. The drone can do all that with just a control, and these pictures on the drone are stabilized pictures that you don't need to worry about. They will be stable, and you can focus, you can zoom in from anywhere that you want, and you can take pictures from any angle. So those are some of the advantages, and it can go to places that people on legs or on cranes cannot reach. So those are some of the advantages of drones. Let's say for mechanized farming, somebody who wants to do, who has a very big plot of land and wants to survey the area during a period of time, they can fly a drone to these areas to see what is happening at these areas at any time. So those are some of the advantages. But the drawbacks to these advantages are the disadvantages, and I'm quite sure we'll talk about that.
That's what I wanted to, just briefly, the disadvantages.
Well, the disadvantages of drones are like, in areas where drones are flown, most people will lose their privacy. Drones tend to wander, or people who are flying drones will want to explore beyond the limitations of what the civil authorities have given them. Let's say you're given the permission to fly a drone now within the Serekunda end. Obviously, you want to sit in your house and find out what is happening in Banjul. Then you start venturing beyond your scope of license. So some of the disadvantages are that, and some of these things also. Let's say somebody comes from overseas, wants to shoot a video here without proper license, takes his drone and flies over wherever he wants, gets his documentary, and these documentaries can portray either good or evil of the country, and then they'll end up putting up these videos and then tend to make the Gambia looks bad. So at the end of the day, these are some of the things that, those are some of the disadvantages of flying drones, because you have limited control over what the person does when the license is already handed over.
Can they be used for smuggling?
Yes, I'm happy happy you've mentioned that. A couple of months ago, we know the issue about the drug cartels in Mexico and America. They're trying to get drugs over to America because it obviously makes more money over there. So people bought this drone, loaded it up with a lot of cocaine and marijuana, and wanted to fly it over to America. But unfortunately for them, the weight on the drone was too much that it collapsed and fell. So these are some of the disadvantages of drone, because now it's very difficult for you to catch the pilot where they're sitting and controlling these drones. But then those are some of the disadvantages of flying a drone. So I think the civil authorities in terms of aviation will have to look into those who are given license for flying drones.
Comium, we are better together.
When they are flown overhead us, do we have any means of protecting ourselves from what those people can take?
I'm happy we were speaking earlier about France and what has happened there. And in France also they have designed other countermeasures against drones invading the privacy of people. The privacy of people can be kept by installing something that has been designed called the drone shield. So this is a shield that actually alerts you as to if a drone is approaching your environment or your house, and what measures can be taken. What you can listen to the drone and you can find out what sort of recordings the drone is doing in your area. So those are some of the countermeasures. And also they have also invented another countermeasure which we were discussing about, flying a counter drone that has a net that will actually capture these drones that are in the area. So let's say if it's an unwanted drone or unlicensed drone, they can fly in this countermeasure that will capture this drone, and then you'll be able to get a hold of what these people are doing. I think you spoke earlier about the military issue about drones. Iran, as it is, was able to capture one of the drones flown by America over their airspace, and they were able to do a reverse technology of the drone and even prepare a better drone, but those are in the military aspect.
Okay.
Comium, we are better together. Comium Super Savers.
It's official. 99 Bluetooths to call any telephone in the Gambia. Yes, yes, yes! It's now cheaper to call any network from your Comium phone.
99 Bluetooths to call any network. Truly the lowest in the Gambia.
Comium, making communication cheaper.
99.
99? Yes! Yes!
Comium Super Savers.
99 Bluetooths a minute. No need to look at the number you're calling. Just make sure it's your Comium phone you're calling with. Unbelievably cheaper to call with your Comium number.
Terms and conditions apply. First minute is regular rate. Any minute added enjoys this offer. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Comium. Comium. We are better together. Comium, we are better together.
It is a pleasure to have you back. One of the most promising aspects of new technology is the opportunities it provides for young social entrepreneurs across the African continent. The World Lab in Lomé, Togo's capital city, is a place dedicated to the democracy of technology. World Lab consists of 15 people who teach technology, encourage innovation, and believe that every person should have access to technological opportunities. One of the first people to work there, Sam Kodo, was recently nominated for a prestigious Anziza Prize, an award recognizing innovation and entrepreneurial skill. Sam invented a small, very affordable computer that will enable young people with limited income to own their own PCs.
Comium, we are better together.
Togo is one of the smallest countries in Africa. In the 16th century, it was a country raided by European slave traders. The capital city, Lomé, has a population of less than 1 million people, many of them young. But it's one of the African countries least touched by the communication and computing revolution. In spite of limited resources and infrastructure, young Togolese are determined to be part of the technological revolution that is sweeping across Africa. Sam Kodo is a young man who has started a tech business in the city. His company, Infinite Loop, is a product of his passion for technology and the change that it brings. Sam first became known for the e-waste robots he was making since he was a child. He's programmed the robots to draw, play football, and even recognize faces. While he was at university, he and his friends could not afford computers and had very little access to technology. He decided that the solution lay in innovative thinking. With cheap computer chips and second-hand parts, computers could be built from the most basic and unlikely components.
Je vous présente Charles Kodo, c'est mon grand frère à moi. Il s'occupe du design de notre ordinateur. Nous utilisons les CD de recyclage où nous découpons comme sur cette forme-là. Donc on a plusieurs parties. Comme ça nous avons maintenant des sorties.
For a screen, the computer can be plugged into any TV.
Pour le USB, l'écran, l'alimentation et la télé. Et nous fermons le tout. C'est devenu un ordinateur.
Sam uses a combination of bought components and e-waste to make his handheld computers. But for other young Togolese keen on a career in technology, the markets are a good place to start. Lome's markets sell everything from e-waste to these plastic jerry cans. They are found throughout Africa, but here in Lome, they are used for more than carrying water.
Voilà les composants avec lesquels on fait nos jerry.
The Jerry is a tough DIY computer anyone can build from recycled computer parts housed in a jerry can. This group of young people call themselves the Jerry Clan. They are working together in a downtown space called the Way Lab, a place where young innovators gather to collaborate and share ideas while building the technology they cannot buy. Audrey Rhodes is the current team leader at the Way Lab.
Parler du projet Jerry, c'est un ordinateur recyclé. Donc on récupère des éléments de vieux ordinateurs et à l'aide d'un bidon et du matériel de couture, on essaie de monter sa propre ordinateur. L'idée un peu c'est de démystifier l'ordinateur et avoir un ordinateur personnel à soi. Le Jerry est un projet qui rentre dans la philosophie du Way Lab, donc mettre tout le monde égal devant la technologie. Le nom Way Lab, ça vient d'où? Si on prend les trois premières lettres, le Way, ça veut dire en langue locale, en langue EV, faire. Donc un laboratoire où on fait, d'où le nom Way Lab. Le Way Lab étant un espace de démocratie technologique, l'espace où tout le monde peut venir et développer son projet.
Part of the philosophy is to include the community. Schools in Togo don't offer any computer classes, and the Way Lab is filling an important gap. One of the most ambitious projects here is to build 3D printers from waste material. Some months ago, the Way Lab team succeeded in building an award-winning 3D printer using recycled parts. It's said to be the world's first 3D printer made from e-waste. It's currently being showcased in Europe, and the team is building more.
Nous avons raté le train de la révolution industrielle qui est passée. Maintenant, le train de la nouvelle révolution, qui est la révolution de l'idée d'imprimante 3D partout dans le monde, pour ne pas rater ce train-là.
Sam Kodo began his technological journey at the Way Lab, but has now moved on. Sam was nominated for a prestigious Anzisha Award, a prize for innovation and entrepreneurship. He was one of 12 finalists chosen from all over Africa.
À travers mes robots, à travers mes ordinateurs, je veux donner aux Africains l'envie d'avoir confiance en eux, l'envie de dire que nous aussi, on peut le faire si un de nos frères l'a pu faire. Et nous allons y arriver, nous allons y arriver.
Chromium, we are better together. Chromium Super Savers. The lowest international call rates ever.
Yes, you heard it. Chromium offers you the lowest international tariff ever.
Lower than anywhere else. Chromium Super Savers.
Now is the time to call family and friends all over the world at rates you can definitely afford. Chromium brings you the lowest international call rates ever.
Name your country and we got the lowest rates to that destination.
Also, receive international calls with your Chromium number and get free credit. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Chromium.
Chromium, we are better together.
Welcome back. In Lagos, the problem of urban waste is growing. Bilikis Adebiyi, who previously worked in IT, believed that she needed to actively create change in order to improve living conditions. Based on the fact that most people in these areas have mobile phones, she believed that the answer lay in finding a way of integrating this communication tool with a waste management system. Her company, WeCycle, uses a fleet of low-cost cargo bicycles to offer convenient household recycling service in densely populated low-income neighborhoods. Users SMS the WeCycle number and their trash is collected. Their call enters them into competitions to win small donated prizes.
Chromium, we are better together.
This is my world. Good job.
Waste, a growing problem facing many African cities, none more so than Lagos in Nigeria, where discarded litter pollutes the surrounding environment and poisons the living conditions of 20 million people. Landfills are full to overflowing. Piles of unprocessed garbage and runoff wastewater harbor bacteria. But here, necessity has also been the seed of remarkable innovation. Bilikis Adebiyi has identified an opportunity for social change and a new type of business.
Separate the colors. Blue separate, white separate. We only give our best.
She started WeCycle, an initiative to create a sustainable business model out of household garbage.
I have a master's degree in software engineering. WeCycle started out as a result of a class that I took while I was a student at MIT, focused on people that live at the base of the pyramid, people that earn less than $2 a day. We're working to empower people in low-income communities with their waste. We provide them with convenient recycling using our low-cost cargo bicycles called WeCycles. Households register to our service and are assigned on a weekly collection schedule. So our WeCyclers go to their houses and the households will sort out their rubbish into 3 different categories. The plastic bottles, as you can see, the pure water sachets and the cans. The WeCyclers weigh the waste, each kind of material, and they record it. Each kind of material has a different value of points. Households then receive an SMS from our database that tells them how much of each material that we collected and how many points they were able to get. Many of the households that we are servicing do not have smartphones with apps. So we had to do something that was very simple and easily accessible. So SMS was the answer. Every 3 months, they have a chance of redeeming their points for a prize. They can get household items, they can get electronics like a blender, toasting machine, a generator, or even cash.
It's something that will help by making the environment to be clean. Recycling means something.
We started about 2 years ago, and since then, we've registered over 6,000 households to our service. We've impacted over 33,000 people and collected close to 600 tons of recyclable waste.
But Lagos is only the first step.
from my jacket.
Bilikis and her team are making moves to expand the initiative across the continent.
Please make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. Okay.
She has come to my home city of Cape Town to network with the manager of a recycling site in Imizamoyetu.
Hi, fine, how are you?
Good. Welcome to Cape Town.
Thank you so much. Like I said, Lagos, we generate 10,000 tons of waste every day, 20 million people, so many people. So we have this model, and we want to make it such that it can be transferred to other places. So that's really what we're working on now, is to expand our model. You know, we have to think big.
Imizamoyetu, an informal settlement on the Atlantic seaboard about 20 kilometers outside of Cape Town, could be home to the first South African Recyclers Initiative.
Is this the first time you came to South Africa? My first time. Oh.
Bilikis has identified similarities between her hometown and Imizamoyetu. 30,000 people live here, and their waste collection system is inadequate.
This is our classes.
Okay.
And then the rest of the classes, we keep it there in those bags.
Wow, okay.
Nogwanda Sogyanga is the manager of the Imizamoyetu cooperative. Here, she and her team collect recyclables dropped off by the public, sort and then sell them.
A daily business from Monday until Sunday.
Every day.
Molweni. Both of us as waste queens.
Yes. Waste queens of Africa. Recycling queens of Africa.
The current system relies on goodwill, and the WeCyclers model could be the perfect incentive to galvanize recycling in the community.
It will help us a lot. And how does the financial model of the company work that provides the resources to be able to provide these incentives?
What we do is we sell the waste and add value at the point of collection. For example, the plastic bottles. There's so many things you can do, to add value. You can separate the colors, remove the cap, bale it.
And we separate the color, and then you press.
Wow! And you get more money. You don't have to remove this one. You get more money than if it's like that. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
As we grow and as we become big, the numbers of and the amount of waste we are collecting is so huge that it can cover all those costs. But for now, we have not yet broken even. So we have support from companies that they fund certain things that we do. They'll fund our WeCycle. They'll fund our incentives, the redemption items that people get. And that helps us to offset our costs. I think personally that people cannot come out of poverty without having wellness. You can't have wellness without clean environment. So it all comes down to waste. Nobody wants to live in a dirty environment, but they have no solution. So we want to provide them with a solution.
Comium. We are better together. Comium Super Savers.
It's official. 99 Bluetooths to call any telephone in the Gambia. Yes! 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 It's now cheaper to call any network from your Comium phone.
99 Bluetooths to call any network. Truly the lowest in the Gambia.
Comium, making communication cheaper.
99.
99? Yes! Yes!
Comium Super Savers.
99 Bluetooths a minute. No need to look at the number you're calling. Just make sure it's your Comium phone you're calling with. Unbelievably cheaper to call with your Comium number.
Terms and conditions apply. First minute is regular rate. Any minute added enjoys this offer. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Comium. Comium. We are better together.
Thank you for being with us, and that's all we had time for on this episode of TechBiz. Until we come your way next week, it is a goodbye from the CFTM studios.